happy Saturday and welcome back to Know All Paranormal.
All right. Since Father's Day is tomorrow, today we're talking about cursed bloodlines, generational curses, and families that seem doomed from the start.
So, across history, some families seem to carry more than just genetics. Generation after generation, tragedy follows them violent deaths, madness, disappearances, sickness, almost like something dark has passed down from father to child.
And whether you believe in actual curses or not, there are some bloodlines where the pattern becomes hard to ignore.
One of the oldest ideas tied to cursed bloodlines is something called the sins of the father. The belief that actions of one man could sustain an entire family line for generations after him.
In Appalachian folklore, especially, there are stories about families being marked. Maybe a father committed murder, betrayal, or something seen as spiritually wrong. And afterward, the men in that bloodline supposedly suffered strange deaths, addiction, violence, or constant tragedy.
And in some stories, people believe that the curse specifically followed the sons, like the darkness was inherited.
One of the most famous examples connected to the family curse is the Bell family from Tennessee.
Ooh,
The
the
Bell
Bell
witch
Witch.
haunting began in the early 1800s and centered heavily around John Bell, the father of the family.
And according to legend, whatever haunted the property seemed to target him directly.
Mhm.
Witnesses claimed strange voices filled the home, family members were attacked, and John Bell himself became violently ill before dying under mysterious circumstances.
And even after his death, stories surrounding the Bell bloodline continued for years. Some people believe the family itself has become permanently tied to whatever was haunting him
Mm,
or them.
mm. Now, for you, those of you that don't know, I believe the real story of the Bell Witch was a widowed woman that lived next door to John Bell and his family. And he accused her of being a witch so that he could steal her property, right? That's the story.
Mm.
The Bell family is still around today and they disagree with that. They say that's not what happened, but it's pretty clear that that's what happened according to like records.
Yeah.
Um, but they've moved away from the property and they still suffer from like the voices in the house and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, it's following them. It follows the family. That woman's not
Wow.
not letting it go. She's
Wow.
not letting it go.
Something happened there, huh?
Yeah, yeah. But then there was the real historical dynasties people considered cursed families, where generations after generations ended in disaster.
Wow. The Habsburgs are a famous example. Kings, emperors, wealth, power, but also severe illness, deformities, infertility, mental instability, and repeated tragedy within the family.
And I was about to say, like, because it was inbreeding, but historians point to generations of inbreeding. People at the time genuinely, the Habsburgs were very inbred. Um, and historians are like, well, that's because of the inbreeding. But people at the time genuinely believed that the family had been cursed by God because it's just one thing after another. It was horrible.
Mm. Which honestly happens a lot throughout history. Once enough tragedy piles up around one bloodline, people start looking for supernatural explanations.
Some paranormal researchers even believe trauma itself can haunt generations, not necessarily through ghosts, but through patterns.
Violence passed from father to son, fear passed through households, anger, addiction, abuse. Sometimes what looks like a curse may actually be generations repeating the same damage over and over again.
But that also raises a terrifying question, Kevin.
What if some families really are carrying something darker?
There are stories all over the world about inherited haunting, shadow figures seen by multiple generations, families claiming every father dies before a certain age, children dreaming about relatives that they've never met.
And some occult traditions even warn against opening doors spiritually because whatever enters may not stop with you. It may follow your bloodline after you're gone.
Mm. So that idea alone is horrifying. The thought that one decision, one ritual, one act could affect children and grandchildren who aren't even born yet.
And whether these stories are paranormal, psychological, or coincidence, cursed bloodlines are one of the oldest fears humanity has ever had.
Is it? Is it though?
I don't know.
Because deep down, I think everyone wonders the same thing at some point.
What exactly do we inherit from the people who came before us?
Mm. So, what do you think? Can darkness really pass through generations, or are some families simply trapped, repeating the same tragedies over and over again? What families do you think are cursed? I personally think and have heard that the Kennedys were.
Yeah, I heard about that too. I don't know. My family is supposed to be cursed. Somebody's supposedly cursed our family. Some
What?
witch, because of something that happened. But
You'll have to tell me
um,
more about that sometime.
yeah, we don't talk about it a lot, so But anyway, they say the curse has been lifted. And if you ever heard stories about cursed families, generational hauntings, let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed today's episode.
Happy Father's Day. Bye.
Stay spooky. I hope you're not cursed.
Oh.